Today's episode of Chat and Chew is sponsored by Be Positive Productions and Multimedia Studios, LLC. I like to think of imagination as something akin to a superpower. Used in the right context for good, it can help bolster our aspirations and propel us closer to our goals. We visualize the outcome of our accomplishments and work toward attaining said thing. However, when used to propagate untruths, reality can become distorted. We no longer know what's real and what's not. The more often we repeat something to ourselves, the more likely it is to become our truth, and the lines between perception and reality begin to blur. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is a wrap.
Nationwide, more than 20 million children live in a home without a father. We want to change this. We are Fathers Forever, a North Carolina nonprofit promoting responsible fatherhood. We help incarcerated fathers return back into society. We offer 90-day transitional housing, a comprehensive training program, and job opportunities. Visit our website to learn more, afatherforever.com.
Greetings. I am glad to be here tonight. I'm very excited about our Chat and Chew episode tonight. You know, we started this, our transition house in 2017, and we had hundreds of guys who came to our program came to us from the Department of Public Safety. Tonight, about a couple months ago, we started a segment called Where Are They Now? And where we go back and we look at some guys who've been through the program and how successful they've been, how our program have kind of redirected their lives and changed their lives. And today we have a gentleman, Tracy Thompson, that one of our graduates. He came to us February 2020. And it's been about 3 years. He graduated. Has been with us about 5 months. And now he's on his own working, doing real well. And we have a very exciting episode tonight that I want you to tune into. And so I know some of you guys are tuning in during your dinner break. So let's chat and chew while we do.
Please make sure you follow us on Facebook, like and subscribe to our YouTube channel, and of course, hit the bell to activate notifications that will remind you when we're on. Please be sure to leave us a comment to let us know how we're doing. We'd love to hear from you.
Very excited about what we're going to be talking about this night. As I said earlier in the introduction, we are starting our segment, Where Are They Now? A lot of guys have came to our program over the last, since 2017. We had hundreds and hundreds of guys that come through, some successful, some not quite so successful. And so we wanted to go back and create this segment where we have guys who have been very successful, who ordered to our program, came and did very well, and still doing very well. And so tonight we have our guest, Mr. Tracy Thompson, who, and I said earlier, Tracy came to us, and I let him tell him the dates that he was there when he came to us. But he's been going for maybe a year and a half now.
3 years.
3 years? Wow, it's been that long. Mm-hmm. And I ran into Tracy just this past weekend at the grocery store, Food Line, I think it was, and he started talking about his accomplishments and things that he's accomplished. And I have two of my esteemed staffs here. G's my son as well, the operation manager, And Dwayne is our senior manager,
Yes.
account manager over the houses. They've been with us ever since we started, 2017. So I brought them along because when I was talking to Tracy, he talked about these two guys who made a very impact on his life that while he was at the transition houses. So I brought them along, and we're going to just have a little roundtable discussion about his journey and how he's doing now. So, our audience, I want to introduce you to Mr. Tracy Thompson. And so, Tracy, tell us a little bit about you, about your background, where you came from, and how you end up at Fathers Forever.
All right, Mr. Warren. My name is Tracy Thompkins. I'm from Fayetteville, North Carolina. I'm 57 years old. I probably started making bad decisions in my life at a very young age, probably 12 or 13 years old.
Really?
Just little petty stuff, doing little petty stuff at home, And I was raised in a pretty decent family. I was fortunate enough to have both of my parents, but I like to think that I started out kind of watching my uncles and brothers, and I don't know, it just kind of excited me a little bit. I saw them smoking them little cigarettes and them little funny cigarettes, and they would drink them beers, and I don't know, from a very young age, it kind of impressed me. But that still, I still didn't have to go out and break the law. I kind of did that because I got hooked on drugs. I started experimenting with drugs. And I didn't really want to believe I was an addict. But when you go to prison at 19 years old, something's wrong. I mean, and my family, they stood by me for a long time, because I ended up going to prison, just to make a long story short, probably 6 different times. Now, the first couple of times, wasn't that bad. Around about that 4th one, it gave me enough time where I had to think about it. Didn't learn a lot, but I had to think about it. But I ended up at Fathers Forever in February 2nd, 2020. And that was my 6th bid.
Wow.
And I did 10 years straight. And I was at a point where I was ready to give up on my life. I knew I wasn't going to Fayetteville. I said, you know what? If I get out this time, I don't know where I'm going to go. I prayed. I asked God. I knew right from wrong. I couldn't blame the system. I couldn't blame nobody. A lot of people do. And I'm not going to sit here and knock nobody. I just had to look at me. And I finally had to look in the mirror and realize that I was the problem. I was the problem. And I never wanted to face that, because I'm the youngest in the family. I got 1 sister and 2 brothers. And Mr. Williams has talked to my mom. He has kind of met, I don't think he's met him, but he's talked to my mom on the phone. Mm-hmm. He knows a lot about me. And this guy was tough. But he was tough. But you know what? They tried to move me out of that house away from his office. And I told Mom, I ain't going nowhere. I'm going to stay right there, because you know what? I wanted to do right, but I was still sick. And I knew I was sick, and I had never really made good decisions in my life. And I had done did so much time. I was behind on a lot I didn't even know how to use a cell phone. And I was beating myself up. I was feeling sorry for myself. And February 2nd, they told me I got parole. They said, we're sending you to Raleigh, North Carolina. I don't know nobody in Raleigh. Right. I don't know nobody in Raleigh. They said they're sending me to some home. Now, I could have went to my family, and I could have went home, probably. But I said, no. I said, well, you know what? I had prayed about it. I said, well, I'm going to let God put me where I need to be. He sent me to Fathers Forever. I went there. It was rough. It was tough. I ain't going to lie, because I didn't know nobody. I walked around. I made mistakes. I wanted to I don't know. But I know one thing. I was not going to commit no crime. And one other decision I made, I think that helped me. I said I was not going to jump in a relationship with any woman. I'm not going to do anything. I'm just go there, see what's going on. I'm gonna attempt to do what is right, what I know how my parents raised me. But then when I got there was some people there that, they was tough, but they were supportive. This guy right here, I would get up in the morning, go to work. He would talk to me. I would come home. He would talk to me. And it was always positive. Then he invited me to church one time. I had always struggled with my religion. I blamed God because I'm like, man, ain't no way you can keep putting me in this situation where, because in prison, it's anything goes. And I had some rough times, but I made it by the grace of God. And when I came to Father's Affair, well, like I said, I was pretty much ready to give up. But I held on. I walked. I jumped on the bus. I did whatever I needed to do to try to take care of me. And I knew I had to work. And I knew I couldn't commit no crimes. And I knew I couldn't put no cocaine in my mouth. Wow. Because I knew if I did that, I was going to lose. I was going to end up right back where I just came from. So I made some mistakes. I'm not going to lie. I'm not going to sit here and say I didn't make mistakes, but I was determined. I was determined to do what I knew what was right. And Fathers Are Forever played a big role in that because they showed me that I could be responsible. I had to go to meetings. I had to go here. I had to take tests. And people was always watching. And I was like, you know what? I'm not going to leave. My room was right there next to his office. I said, they tried to move me, sir, but I said, I ain't going nowhere. I'm staying right here with Mr. Williams. Wow. And I heard guys talk about him. He was just the meanest guy. And I'm like, you know what? I need a mean guy behind me. You know what I'm saying? Because,
So Dwayne, what did you see in Mr. Tracy that really, really made you kind of be tough on him? And he's tough on everybody.
He is.
But it's okay. What did you see in Mr. Tracy that really stood out to you?
It was his determination, that the way he talked about wanting to change his life around. I never had a resident that said he wanted me to talk to his parents. And so I got on the phone with his mom, and we talked about an hour. He was actually in the office, and I kind of forgot he was sitting there because I was so engaged with his mother, and she was telling me about what a good guy he was, but he had some struggles and some demons, and then we got to talking about church. And I was talking about church, and she said, well, will you take my son with you to church? I said, yeah. And she said, if you take him to church, I'll cook for you. I said, what are you going to cook? She said, some chitlins and some greens. And I said, well, he going to church this week, and when I go get my chitlins and greens.
See, you know what the thing about this? I'm feeling kind of salty about both of that. I was not involved. I didn't know anything about none of those conversations. As much as I love greens and chitlins, but anyway, I'll put that to the side. I'll still love them. When I heard about it, I'm still kind of wrestling with that whole ordeal.
And Mr. Thompson, he was honest. As he said, he wasn't perfect in the program. He had some struggles, but he was honest, and he would come and talk about quitting and giving up. And I would just encourage him, you look what you've accomplished. You've come too far to give up, to quit. Even when he had a relapse occasion, Fathers Forever is not the program that's just going to kick you out because you have a slip up. We're going to try to work with you, try to get you to face them demons, and so you can not do the same mistake you did before. And he was willing. I mean, this man was working. He had a car at some point. He got a car, but he was going to work, and it was far out without a car. And wasn't complaining about it and getting up early in the morning. So there was something about him that there was a drive to him, and he was honest with himself. Yeah, he wasn't perfect. Your mom did a great job on that food. You can tell her anytime she want to give me some more.
So I'm gonna have to talk to mom. She's watching this. So G, G is our program
operation manager.
Operation manager. All these titles going around. So he have a lot of interaction with a lot of the guys. When I met him in the food line a couple of weeks ago, that he sang your praises too. So what was about this gentleman that really made you kind of gravitate to him?
Well, I mean, just like Mr. Thompson, so many other guys, I tell everybody, and I told you, every day you got a fresh 24 to start all over again. I don't care what you did the day before. So today, you make a mistake yesterday, tomorrow you can wake up, start from day one, choose to make decisions, better decisions for yourself. And that's what he did. Every day, as soon as he had a situation, you know, positive drug screen, we talked in the room. We talked about how it affected his life, where he was going. Same thing with Dwayne. Where you were, how much you accomplished while you was here, where you want to be, and we let that motivate him to keep moving forward. So it's just, I say the same thing to him that I say to everybody else, but certain people take it and run with it, and he was one of the ones that took it and ran with it. So that's why he's here now, because same way Dwayne is probably with everybody, I am too, but not everybody looks at it that way. Some people look at it as, oh, you're chastising me. Like, no, I'm hard on you because I see the potential in you and I see that you can make it. I can't be the only one to believe in you. You have to believe in yourself as well. He did, and this is a result of us pushing him and him believing that he can do anything he wanted to do, regardless how late in life he gets started.
So one of the things that we teach in the classes, and every time I go and teach the guys, we talk about choices, mistakes versus decisions.
Mhm.
And a lot of people say, Mr. Glenn, I made a lot of mistakes. And I was like, tell me some of your mistakes that you made. And then they say, I got a DUI or I got a domestic violence charge. And I look at them and say, tell me the difference between a choice and a mistake. Is that a choice? Is that a mistake?
Mhm.
And they try to say it's a mistake. And I was like, no, it's a choice. A mistake is I accidentally stepped on your toe because I misjudged where your toe was at. Your foot was in relation to mine. That's a mistake. Getting a DUI is not a mistake. That's a choice. And they said, well, I didn't choose to get it. Well, when you choose, choice means you got other options. So if you go out and start to drink and you out there and you got to get home and you know you've been drinking, to choose to drive is a choice. It's not a mistake. It means you had other options. You could, number one, you didn't have to drink. Number two, you could call Uber. There's a host of other things, option you could have chose, but you chose to drive and you got a DUI. Now you want to call that a mistake. So that the thing is, we tell, but not just only us guys, but we look at politicians. And I'm watching a guy a couple of months ago. He gets up on a TV and say, I want to apologize to my wife for having an affair. And he said, I made a mistake. And I want to like, that's not a mistake, dude. That's a choice. So call it, I'm glad that you apologize, but don't call it a mistake. Call it a choice. And we tell guys, and all of us, when we go home tonight and close our eyes, whether we are good or bad, it's mostly because of our choices, not necessarily our mistakes. So when you wake up in my house and you wonder how you got there, and I tell you, close your eyes and how did you get to our house? What choices did you make that led you to our house? And I bet you, as my daddy said, down to a donut, it wasn't the mistakes that led you to the house. It was your choices. But the question is, why do people, and calling everybody, why we call bad choices mistakes? And the reason is we don't want to take ownership.
That's right.
Exactly.
Because after all, everybody make mistakes.
Exactly.
So it's easy and it sounds right. I made a mistake. Well, yeah, life is full of mistakes and bad choices. But I bet you where you are today, not because of your mistakes, but because of the choices that you made. And once that becomes your reality, you realize that I don't like where I am, which means what? I got to start making better choices.
Right.
And then you take ownership and you say, man, I got here because of me. And I could blame the judge, I could blame my appeal officer, I could blame the dog, I could blame the goldfish, I could blame whoever I want to blame. My mom, my dad, my upbringing, my color, I could blame anybody. And we all know that sometimes that stuff do have a role and play a part of it. But most of the time it's because of our choices that we call mistakes.
You know what? I'm so glad to be a part of this roundtable because seeing Mr. Thompson kind of made my heart full. We see a lot of guys come through the program. We don't always get to see what happens to them. And seeing him where he was at and where he is now just means that the work is not in vain. We work and me and G kind of, on the same page with these guys. We want you to be successful, but we're not going to make it easy. We're going to give you some tough love. And to see you now, and you were singing the praises of the program to the executive director on how we affected your life, which we never, I'm telling you, I don't know how I'm going to affect somebody. But I want to pour as much to them as I possibly can. And just like he said, we're doing it because we care about what we're doing. We're not just doing it for a paycheck. I mean, come on. If that was the case, I wouldn't be doing this.
Exactly.
But
What are you trying to say, Dwayne? You ain't get paid much?
but to see this man right here and how he just looking at him like, wow, Fathers Forever, the program, we had an effect on his life. And he's getting ready to get married. Wow.
Yeah, I just seen the ring. I was gonna ask you about that.
Man, like I said, man, yeah, I believe wholeheartedly that if I had not come to Fathers Forever, February 2nd, 2020, I don't think I would be right here right now. I don't know where I would be, but I don't think I would be right here. But see, because I know this. God put people in your life for a reason. Mm-hmm. But like your dad just said, the founder of this company, you got a choice to make. And I choose to make a decision today to pay my bills, to get up every morning at 5:30 and go to work. And I got insurance on my car. I don't have to look behind my back. I've struggled all my life, and all I did was F it up. But you know what? February 2nd, when I came to Fathers of Forever, I made a conscious decision to fix me and love me because I had never loved me. And today, by the grace of God, I love me. I got an awesome job with benefits. I didn't even know how to operate the cell phone barely when I came home. I was struggling trying to do it. Now I know how to do it. I can go on a big old computer at the job and get up there and work it. And I had no idea. I had never been on one. It's just, man, like you said, you got a choice in life. And I think for me, I had to learn how to love me. And the other thing that I think I did not jump in a relationship for 2 years. I did not, and God knows I'm telling the truth, I did not touch a woman 2 years when I came home. I had plenty of opportunities. You know what I did? I walked away. I said, no, sorry, ma'am. I said, it's me. It's about me right now. I'm not thinking about a relationship. And I wasn't. Till one day I was at a food pantry and I was going up there to get some food because I wasn't in this job now. I was working my way to this job. I was at a temp agency, walking to work. And I had to go up there and get me some food to kind of make it. I had, money in the bank and everything, but that place was giving out some good food. I went up there and I met this lady. And I just met her. It was nothing. We saw each other a few times, and I would be up there helping other people put stuff in the car, trying to do my little volunteer work because I needed to feel good about me on the inside because I had never felt good about me. And just getting out, doing that, it made me feel like, well, you know what? You're not so bad after all. Because I used to look at myself as like the worst individual in the world. I just beat myself down. And I'm like, you know what? I ain't beating myself up no more. I can't keep apologizing. I can't apologize to my family the rest of my life. Eventually, I got to stand up and be a man and take care of me. And that's what I do today. I get up every day and take care of me. But you know what? I will never forget Fathers of Forever. Because like I said, I honestly believe this man right here, that right there, and you, even though I didn't see you that much, but I knew who you were. I researched it. And when they told me they were sending me there, I had to find out what it was. And I kind of looked it up and found out.
Who would this dude right here?
And everything I heard about it, once I got there, it was just like, I was scared. I was spooked. I was around a bunch of guys that I'd been in prison with. And I didn't know none of them, but, and I ain't know nobody in Raleigh. But you know what? I knew two things I wasn't going to break the law. And I did not want to make a bad decision. So I felt like I needed to somebody had to kind of watch over me. And fathers are forever did. They watched over me, and I needed to be watched over. And it got me to where I'm at now because, it pretty much taught me how to be a man. When they say fathers are forever, I am a dad, and I don't have a good relationship with my son. But we are building one now today.
Yeah. That's good, man.
And I never had a relationship with my son. But now I got one with him.
That's what it's about.
I actually feel normal for the first time in my life. I'm just a normal guy, work like everybody else. I can vote. I got my voting rights back.
All right. That's all good.
Okay, man. That's
So,
good.
audience, what you're seeing is some natural emotion there for somebody that, as he said, he did 10 years in prison.
That's just one sentence. One bid.
One bid.
One bid.
And he had 6 bids. And like he came out working, got a whip.
2 whips.
Oh, 2
I got
whips.
a 2017 Avalon out there, and I got a 2001 Acura.
You still got that?
And that car you seen was that Pontiac. I got rid of that.
You got rid of. Well, look, audience. He got 2 cars, 2 whips.
And you know where I live?
Where?
I shouldn't say it, but I am because I do not care. God protects me today. I live in Raleigh Beach, a brand new apartment complex down there. And I ain't even gonna tell you what the rent is. It's right there. You know Raleigh Beach where you go in there, look to a night there, them new apartments in them there, swimming pool. I got a pet spa. I got a cat. I got a cat.
You the cat.
Oh, you're the cat man.
No, I don't know how. You know how I got that cat? When I was at the motel, when I left y'all, I had to go to live in the motel. And I was by myself. I ain't had nothing. And I was scared to death. I was so scared to leave y'all because I didn't know if I could make it on my own. And then to be in a motel with all the crap to go on there, for me to get through that,
Right.
and I'm a drug addict.
Wow.
It's God's.
And
you know what I'm saying?
And it's God, but it's also your choices.
That's right.
You made a statement a few minutes ago, and I want to chime in on that because we see a lot of guys. They come to our program, and the first thing they do is get involved in a relationship.
Yes, God.
Yeah.
And they are, sometimes they resist the drugs, they resist the other stuff, but they get involved in this relationship. A lot of times the people they get involved in are just like them. They're struggling and they say, they're using again.
Right.
Then they call us and say, Mr. Glenn, Mr. Dwayne, Mr. G, I found me a place. I'm moving in with her. And then a week later, 2 weeks later, they come back to us and ask us, can we come back?
Yeah.
They can't come back now because we've closed them out.
Yeah.
We got to move on to somebody else. But that is the pitfall that they make. And I am so glad you made that because the guys that you listen to this, please listen to this.
Yeah.
It ain't going nowhere.
Don't jump in no relationship. That is the worst thing. I did it every time.
There you go.
Don't jump and stay celibate. I did it. And I ain't never did it in my life. I don't care what nobody say. It was the best decision I made. I went 2 years without a woman. I don't regret it. It was tough. I ain't gonna lie. It was tough. But when you're in there, you ain't got no woman.
Right.
Do you? When you're in there, now I know y'all ain't been, but when you're in there, you ain't got no woman.
Right.
And so I made a
con- you can do 2 years.
Exactly.
You can do 10 years, you can do 2
Yeah.
years.
I always believe this too. If you ain't went through nothing, you can't get nowhere. But I went through hell and back. And anybody that's ever been in prison and the people that, if you listening to this, you can't tell me no hard stories because I've been through them all. Because I've been there, and it can't too many people say they did as much time as I did, or went through what I went through. But I made it, and I got out, and it'll take an act of Congress to get me back in that place because I am a law-abiding citizen. I accept it. I will work. If I'd have had to work at Burger King, I would have worked there. That's how bad I wanted to be free, and that's how bad I wanted to save my life. I did not want to die, and I did not want my parents to see me still struggling, strung out on drugs, and they go to their grave and leave this earth.
Wow.
That would have been the worst feeling for me, but it should be the worst feeling for anybody, because your parents or your family, to me, is the most important thing.
Right.
And I took mine for granted my whole life, but I don't today.
I was with a guy Tuesday in Durham, Hickory. He said he did 26 or 27 years in installments. In other words, he did 5 years. You know, 26 years of his life was done in installments, and he went to some of the worst prisons in the United States. And he was talking about his success and what he's doing now and doing some mighty good work in Hickory, but kind of a house like ours. Well, we got a house like his. Anyway, he got 65 beds, and he's doing well. So what do you said a lot of times, contributed to your coming to this point in your life where you had that aha moment where I'm done with this life? And I ask the guys a lot when they come here, I ask the same question: are you done with this life? And some of them look at me and say, I'm done. Some of them look away, and I'm like, you ain't done. Because you can't answer that question. Are you done with the life that you've had for the last, whatever it was? What was that defining moment that made you decide, I'm done with this life? And you might have already said it.
I think for me, the thing that I'm still struggling with right now is my relationship with my mom. You got to understand my mom. And Mr. Williams, like he said, he has spoken to her. She is a sweet woman, but she can be very tough. And she said something to me one time. And, she told me, she said, boy, she said, I love you, you my baby. She said, but if you keep going in that place and something happened to me, I don't want you at my funeral in no chains.
Wow.
Because see, if you're in prison and you have to go to your parents' funeral, you're going in chains.
We've seen that lots of times.
And my mama told me that. It hurt me to my heart. And she told me that in prison. And then she stopped talking to me. And she did it for a reason, tough love. Just, you want to go in there? Okay. I'm not going to be there. And that hurt. But even that didn't hurt as bad as my freedom being taken from me. And I just made a conscious decision right then. I said, I got to be done, because if I ain't, I just may as well not be here. And so for me, man, I was hell-bent. If I had to walk, I had to eat out the trash can, I don't care. I was just at that point in my life where it was either I was going to kill myself or I was going to make it.
Wow.
And I just made my mind up to say, I'm going to make it. By the grace of God, I'm here. I don't worry about a lot today. I still have challenges. I ain't gonna lie. It ain't easy. I struggle every day. I want to get high. I want to do this. I want to go crazy. I don't know. But I do know this today. Every time it get tough, I reach up there and I look up at the sky. I say a little prayer. I'll even pop up at Mr. Williams' church. I got church in Fayetteville. I've been to his church several times. When I get to struggling real bad, I go over there and see Mr. Williams, because I know where he at every Sunday. He in place. And when I need him, his pastor, I love him. His pastor's wife, I love him. I love that church, because that man, that's a good guy. And like I said, he don't know it, but all that tough talk and all that tough love, it made me really respect him. And he's the person that, when I think about doing something stupid, I say, "Oh, Mr. Williams will get you."
Right. Whatever it takes.
But I think about where I was and how I got here, and it started in Raleigh, but it started at Fathers of Fayetteville. And like I said, I don't think I get to where I'm at without it. And people can come through it and take it, for granted if you want to. But I'm gonna tell you this: if you believe in yourself and you keep it positive, and you just don't make bad choices, there's people at that place that will make sure you get to where you need to be. They will encourage you. They will talk to you. Oh, they will be tough on you. And they should be.
Right.
Them people in there cuss at you, call you every name in the book. And you don't say nothing. Keep on moving. So for us, for an addict, for a person that's struggling in life, he needs, somebody to kind of make him feel like he's worth something. And for me, y'all did that. Y'all made me feel like a human. And,
Cool. So, Dwayne, I know we got to wrap this up. We could be talking here today. Come back.
I just appreciate the feedback because sometimes I don't know what guys are doing, and my approach is a little different. Yes, it is, but the tough love is I want to bring out the best in a person that I know is there. It's not to demean anybody. It's not to belittle. It's to bring out the best that they have to get. And a lot of times, if we scapegoat certain things, you're never going to learn.
Right.
So I appreciate you. You almost made me cry sitting here because I was thinking maybe I was too hard. Maybe I'm too hard sometimes. But what you just said just reinforced what Dr. Warren has told me he wanted and what G says he wants done. So I'm good with it now. We're going to roll on.
We're going to roll on.
hey, I said that I just wanted to, I've been seeing you, but I'm going to shake your hand again and tell you thank you.
Oh, no problem.
But this guy here is the one I really want to shake hands because, G, we talked a lot and we didn't have a whole lot of interactions, but every time you came around, you made it a point to seek me out. And if nothing else, just to speak.
That's right.
And let me know.
I see you.
You all right? I see you, man. I see what you're doing. And that meant something to me. It meant that you actually cared. And this program cares about people. And, for people like us, sometimes that's all we need is somebody to care about you and believe in you. And y'all did that for me. And I thank God for y'all. I really do.
Great.
Now,
All right.
I ain't saying no more.
No.
All right.
Man, you're good. So, guys, hold on. We're going to make this. So, I want you to go home, get your mom, let her watch this on the,
I'm going to get to be able to.
yes, we can see that.
You know where this is going, right?
It's going on Facebook. It's going
Talking
on.
about the conversation.
Yeah,
the YouTube.
You know where this is going, right?
Yeah, you do.
Oh, okay. I know.
I want the world to see it.
Yeah, no, I want. I want one audience right now to see this.
Right, what he's about to say. This is what we talking about.
I want your mom to see this.
Oh, yeah.
Because I want her to say, Mom, I want some chitlins and some greens.
Definitely cooking for you.
Okay.
I want that cake. Remember that cake?
Yeah.
That cake, ma'am. Please.
What she sent you? Coconut or was it chocolate?
That chocolate. She sent a piece of each.
So show your mom. She don't know how to get on YouTube. Show her. Because she can see this.
She can get it.
And, that we can get, Mom, we want that chitlins and we want those greens as soon as you can.
Not everybody wants it. I'm good.
And look, the cake you said, because he said he didn't want none, that's enough for me.
Both of us, yeah.
Both of us. The
Well,
chocolate and coconut.
I'm going to make sure I get down there and get this food.
Chili and greens and cake.
I'm going to show get it down here if it kills me.
Yes,
I'm going to get it and bring it down here, I promise.
Yeah, well, I would love to meet your mom one day if possible. But Tracy, we are so honored. This is what we do. And, sometimes we have struggled. Things don't always go our way. People don't like what we do. People, say something.
Yeah.
I mean, even the stuff that we're going through now in the community, all that stuff is crazy, but it's all worth it when we sit down and have a conversation like that to see that we're changing people's lives. And, and you would think people would really embrace that, but they don't for whatever reason. And I'm not harking on that part of it. Mm-hmm. But what keeps us going every single day is to hear testimonies like that. We're making a difference in people's lives. And we're changing people's lives. We can't do it for you. And I tell you, we're launching pads. Mm-hmm. This 3 to 4 months that you have in our house, it's not long, but it's enough to give you that, that launching pad that you can soar on and get on with the rest of your life. Some people take advantage of that like you do. Mm-hmm. Some people don't, and they end up going back. And they're not ready, and that's okay. It's okay. Sometimes it takes 2 or 3 times for people to really... It takes
a lot of pain to get you to where you need to get
But
to.
eventually...
We get a lot of repeat offenders.
Yeah. And they come back and this time I'm gonna do it right, and they do it right. So again, we appreciate your coming on this podcast today. We thank you so much for sharing your story with us.
My pleasure. Like
And
I said,
we
I'm totally blessed and grateful.
Yes. Wow, what a powerful episode tonight. I am very, I'm hyped. I'm glad Tracy really showed us what life-changing organization like ours can do to men who's trying to turn their life around. And, the conversation was very authentic. He at the end, he kind of got a little teary-eyed, as you could see, as we talked about his reuniting to his son. And that's what Father Forever is all about, is returning the hearts of the fathers back to their children. And in Tracy's case, his son is probably grown now, but he's still emotional, wants to be connected with his son. And he got a little, teary-eyed, and we could hear his voice kind of crackle a little bit during the broadcast. But when he started talking about the relationship with his son, he really broke down, and you can see those tears of joy flowing through his eyes. And this is one of the things that we do. This segment is called Where Are They Now? And Tracy Thompson, I am very so proud of him, of the life choices that he decided to turn his life around and get on with the rest of his life and do the things. He got a job, got an apartment. He's doing really well, staying away from drugs and all the other things that he used to do. I also want to shout out our two distinguished staff, G, the operation manager, and Dwayne. Sometimes Dwayne comes across as harsh, and people they don't like him because he's telling the truth. And actually, both G and Dwayne kind of come across as that, and they're the tough guy. I'm the nice guy, and they are the two tough guys. But anyway, all our stuff is very good. But he talked about them when I met them. Tracy, he said he'd been looking for me, and this past Sunday we happened to run into him in the supermarket, if you will, food line. Old people say supermarket. I guess I'm old. And we went into in the food line, and he looked at me. And he started waving. I'm walking down the aisle, and I see this guy waving at me. He's like, "I've been looking for you. I've been looking for you. I really want to come and thank you for what Father Forever had done for me and how you turned my life around." So I am so glad we had an opportunity to hear Tracy's story. And so I encourage you guys to share this broadcast with your friends who may be struggling, who may need to hear. If you got a loved one that's been incarcerated out and now trying to get their life together, this would be a nice video to share with them, to let them know that Tracy can do it, they can do it too. Until we meet again, we'll see you later. Here's 3 ways you can support our Dads at a Distance initiative. Give a copy to a family member, our friend. Donate monthly, a book monthly, 5 books monthly, how many books you want to do monthly donation. Reverse book signing, your church, your business. You can make a donation go to our website at www.afatherforever.com and go to our PayPal at Fathers Forever. Our Cash App is $Fathers Forever. Make your donation today. Please include in the note section, include DAAD. Again, include in the note section DAAD.
If you or someone you know would like to be a part of the show, please visit our website at www.afatherforever.com or call us at 919-779-9905. The Chat and Chew podcast streams Thursdays at 8 p.m. on YouTube and Facebook. To schedule a reverse book signing or to find out more information about how you can become a part of the programs you heard us mention today, please be sure to stop by our website as well.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to Father Forever University. My name is Glenn Warren, and I will be your instructor. Father Forever University is a remote learning experience where we take our 12-week class. And we meet here every Thursday night from 6 until 7, and we talk about fatherhood. We talk about domestic violence. We talk about where your child support money is going. We teach classes about fatherhood and how important it is to be in your child's life. So these 12 weeks is going to be very important for you guys to understand and the concept of fatherhood and what we're trying to teach you. Father Forever University is broken down into 12 weeks, and you can start at any time during those 12 weeks. The key to it is finishing those 12 weeks. Every lesson is in lecture format, where you listen to that lecture, and then on Thursday nights, we discuss that lecture. The Thursday night discussion is where your homework will be due. Part of your homework assignment every Thursday night is to, one, we'll ask you the question, what did you learn? And the second question, how am I going to apply what I learned? We also have specific assignments for each lesson in the notes below. This has been an introduction into Father Forever University. Now let's get started in lesson 1.